Hi everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for today's Wow Wednesday. Today we're going to be working with a new stamp set because our new catalog is out. So we're one full day into our new catalog, and I hope you've had a chance to take a look at it, and I hope you were able to get everything that you wanted out of the last retiring last chance product items. So what we're going to be working with today is a bundle, and you can find this bundle in our catalog on page 17. So it is this awesome stamp set and this 2 3/8 inch punch. Now I know that Stampin' Up! Had done away with some of our punches, circle punches before, but I have seen those circle punches in the items that are exclusively online to order. And they're currently not available, but they don't say discontinued. So that means they must be coming back with some, which makes me very happy. This one here is 2 3/4 inches, and it works perfect with the images in here. And I'm going to show you some of the things that I've done with this. Now, I also am using the 3D embossing folder called Hobnail Glass Dots, and that's this one right here. And this Basics 3D embossing folders are also an online exclusive, and they're currently not available, but they are expected in this week. So it's possible even when this video airs that they could be available, and I'll be happy to let you know that when the video does actually air, because it might become available sometime today, and I'm taping this a little bit earlier than when I'm posting it. So again, this is the basic 3D embossing folders, and you get 3 in a pack, and I do have it on my list to get. I was able to use it while I was at an event, and I think I showed you this really cool little stamp set before that was in the old catalog, The Best Day, and it did retire. But this design here is what we're going to work on in the background. So I did a few of these while I was at an event, and the folder, they did have it before it went unavailable. So I'm, like I said, I'm waiting on mine to come. But in the meanwhile, we'll show you how I went about doing this design. So I'm starting with a piece of Coastal Cabana cardstock, and this Coastal Cabana cardstock is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. So that's one full sheet sliced down and then folded in half, and it will open like this. Okay. So that is the card base. Then we have a piece of basic white, and this piece of basic white is, excuse me, for the inside, that is 5 by 5 1/4 by 4. So that'll be for the inside. And then I have a piece of basic white that is also 5 1/4 by 4. That's going to go on the top, on the next layer of the card base. And then we have a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. And this is the piece that we're going to use to glue down our strips. Now our strips are cut at 1 inch by 3 3/4. Now this is Coastal Cabana, and this is Polished Pink, which is retired, but it's very, very close to Melon Mambo. And I'm showing you this with some Polished Pink so that I can show you my finished cards that I had already made that had this with it. But it's very, very close, so you could use, if you don't have the retired Polished Pink, then you could use the Melon Mambo, which is a lot of the stuff that I'm stamping with on there. So let me grab my adhesive. That's here on my desk somewhere. So I've got my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to add these strips. So what I'm going to start out by doing is taking my Stampin' Seal and adding it to that. Now, the way that I like to do this is I sort of stand up my piece of paper that I'm gluing it to. Nope. Wait a minute, this must be the wrong size. Let me double check this. 1 second, because I want this to be 3 3/4 by 5. It's just 1/8 of an inch too big. Okay, so now I stand that up and I put the piece of the polished pink right against the bottom and come right over to the edge. And that gives me my first piece to start with, and usually lines it up just right. Okay, so then I'm going to take my next piece. That is the Coastal Cabana. And we'll butt that right up against it and glue it down. And we'll continue to do that until we get this piece covered. This really is a cool technique, and I've seen a lot of people have done it with different type of embossing folders, and they get like a quilted look. So you can see that one right there is just a hair too short. So I will just run this through my paper cutter. Just to get that little edge done. So I'll bring that back in here. So I have a nice straight edge. I always like to cut these usually a little bit longer than what my design calls for, and then I go back and trim. And then we take and we run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And this was used, as I said, with that and 3D embossing folder that comes in a 3-pack. That's on the online exclusives only. And this one is the Hobnail Glass Dots. So once we run that through, we have this. And then from that, we have a little piece of scrap white, and I used this stamp that says Celebrate, which is right here in a circle. So I stamped that, and I used the Melon Mambo. And then I also stamped with Memento Black ink a cupcake, colored that in with my Stampin' Blends, Melon Mambo, and Coastal Cabana. And then we're going to add that with Stampin' Dimensionals. To the center of the top layer of our card. Now I am going to use a few more dimensionals. A lot of times I only use 2, but because this piece that I'm putting it onto is embossed, it's raised in some places and flat in others, I want to make sure I have a really good attachment. So when I stamped that cute little cupcake, I colored it with blends, and then I fussy cut it out. Okay, and then we're going to attach this piece here to our basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. So that gives us 1/4 of an inch border around that. And then we will adhere that to our Coastal Cabana card base. I love the Melon Mambo or Polished Pink with the Coastal Cabana. I think it's so pretty. And there we have it. And then you can stamp what you want on the inside. Now there is a really cute little happy birthday in here as well. But I just love the idea of having strips of cardstock and then running it through your embossing machine. As I said, a lot of people do that with little squares, and then they run it through the embossing machine on different embossing folders to get like a quilted pattern. So there's the card that we made for tonight. And then I wanted to show you using some of the other stamps in there. So I have sending you a, and then I stamped smile because you're awesome. Again, using the same idea, using the background there. And then another one where I used this pretty flower, and I actually stamped it twice. And of course, these are cut out, punched with that new punch that is 2 3/8 of an inch. And this one, I actually layered on Stylish Shape Circle. It's just probably 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch bigger. I'm not sure if you can see that. So it has the stitch shapes behind it. And I stamped this twice to make the full circle. Of course, you don't need to do that. You can just stamp half of one, like on this one here. Now on this one here, I used the new Lemon Lolly, absolutely beautiful color. I love it. And Seafoam Green and Pool Party. And this is our basic white. So I stamped this one here. And then I stamped this one here around the bottom. Then I colored with my blends using Seafoam, light and dark. I don't have the Lemon Lolly blends yet, so I did color that in with Daffodil Delight. And then I used my color lifter to lift some of that color out because the Daffodil Delight is so deep. And I wanted it to not be so bold, so I muted it a little bit by coloring it with the color lifter. I had the wrong one in my hand. I'm sorry. This is our color lift. Nope, that's not it either. And a color lifter, which is a white cap. Okay. So I colored that in and colored the seashells in with Pool Party. Gave it a little bit of background there, looking like some sand with crumb cake. So this is the new Circle Sayings. And I hope you really like it. It's a bundle again. It comes with that punch that's 2 3/8 inch. It's hard to see that with the glare here with the camera. But our May host code is 2DH6U3PW. So if you go to my Stampin' Store, which is tracytrott.stampinup.net, and enter that host code. But I always have a link on my Wow Wednesday, so you can just click that link. So I'll have a link with the product code. So it'll be the host code and the product code that'll take you right to my store if you want to order that. And then I'll have another link that is just the host code if you want to order something else. And that's always available at the top of my Stamp with Tracy business page. I always have my new host code right at the top of the page pinned so that you see that as soon as you go to my Stamp with Tracy page. So don't forget now on Wow Wednesdays, you need to like and comment so you have a chance to win 2 cards from the cards that I showed you tonight, and made with the beautiful Circle Sayings stamp set and 2 3/8 inch punch. So thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed tonight's Wow Wednesday. Don't forget to like and comment for a chance to win 2 cards. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye-bye.